with you.
No, believe
And
me,
it hurt my head.
I'm very familiar with that concept. And that's totally
But
fine, because I think when we were talking about it, you were like, oh man, I just got back from a final. Or something like that. It was
well, I
something
mean,
along those lines.
what was nice is that I do vividly remember this conversation, but I also feel incredibly bad with how exhausted I was about it. I hope I was at least a little bit like a good conversational partner, or
It's
I
like
hope I could.
it turns out that under most circumstances, when I'm in like my fanatical state and I'm just like designing stuff, I really just need a wall to bounce ideas off of, and if it doesn't bounce, then I don't keep it. You know what I mean?
I
So
mean,
it was nice
I
having the conversation in general.
I mean, I was nice. I'm happy I managed to be a wall for you. I mean, the only unfortunate thing
You're
is I
usually
also,
a wall in my life, yeah.
yeah, except I kind of hit back occasionally. But I do like psych, not psychological, like physiological talking about that stuff. So I just made me feel bad that I couldn't literally get into talking with it because I was so dead that day.
No, it's okay. Oh, hello, Grant and Adrian.
Yeah, everyone
Oh.
popped in real fast. Hi guys. Well, yeah, thank you. And I feel
Well,
bad for Carrie. Carrie just like turned off her headphones because she probably was like, I don't. They're talking too much.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
I'm assuming Carrie was doing something, but yeah.
I was listening to music. Anyways, what's up?
just vibing.
Just
I was
for a bit.
vibing.
That's what's up.
Dude, I got really concerned the other few weeks. I was like, man, I feel like I had more sets of underwear and that just mysteriously disappeared, but now I'm gonna do laundry because they're lost apparently. I went to go get close today, take a shower, and I found like 6 sets of underwear just stowed in my pajama drawer, and I was like, oh, that's where they were. So now I don't have to do laundry
Secret
for me.
stash.
Well, there you
that's
go.
where they were in their actual spot when they're clean.
Well, no, I have an underwear drawer and a pajama drawer. The underwear drawer includes my socks, though.
Ah,
I'm about to
see.
say I have the exact same thing, so I know what you mean.
Oh,
Yeah, so
mine is like a
actually-
socks, underwear, pajama drawer all in one.
Yeah, I have
you
my-
heathen, you barbarian.
my drawers are shirts and then pajamas and then underwear and socks, and then the last 2 are pants because they're
You don't
bulkier and
hang your
heavier.
regular clothes up.
No, it's too much effort.
Oh, I've given up with pants. I just fold pants and I just hang everything else. That's
Yeah.
shirts and stuff.
I have enough pants and jeans, and they're bulky enough that like I had to like. I have a shitty old drawer from like the early 2000s, and the second to bottom drawer just straight up buckled under the weight. So now I just have like.
Oh my god.
Hang on, I'll send a picture because it buckled and like doesn't. Because of how adamantly I refuse to fold my pants, so they're just like a mess under there that occupies an empty drawer. The space that isn't there anymore.
But folding is so much easier than having to hang pants.
What are
For
you
some reason, I
talking?
hate those things.
What?
You know what?
It's
you-
literally
Yeah.
2
I have it
clips.
so annoying.
It's
No,
You know what
literally
you-
you
they're
just
not
put
clips.
2 clips on the
They're
waistband
not
of your
clips,
thing.
Zach.
What do you mean they're not clips?
So your
though? What do
pants
you
are
use?
just dangling in the closet, like
Who are you asking?
Zach.
What?
I
Yes,
don't even
Hang
fold
up your
my
pants?
I use the same like coat hangers that they use at the store for pants.
I
This
just
is
like
the
stuff
best
them in there. I don't even fold them.
Okay, see, I fold them.
when-
Well, what I was trying to say with Zach is that they're not clips. It's really weird. It's like they have a little silver metal part on it that you have to slide up, and then
Yeah.
it opens up, and then you have
Oh
to.
yes, I
hate
know
those.
I
that.
hate those.
That's so old. Like you don't need that anymore. Cause I'm about to say I used to have the exact same thing, and I remember it hurting all the time. Like I mean, I have really weak fingers to begin with, like the skin. So like I would like pull it up, and my skin would come apart a few times, and it was like, man, that fucking sucks.
Ew.
But
Ew.
but yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't use that anymore. I just got like nice clips. It's good. Hang up. I mean, I was gonna say this before, but I hang up all my day clothes now because, as Grant can probably attest to, sometimes I'll do laundry and everything's all good, but it takes me the entire day to do laundry, and then it will be like 2 a.m. and I'll go into my room, and then there'll still be a pile of clothes on my bed because I forgot about it, and I'll be fucked. And so I'm like, shit. And so eventually, by the next day, I go to like put my clothes away and they're all fucking wrinkled, and so that's why I hang them up in the closet, so that way over time the wrinkles just naturally go away.
How
Imagine-
often do you do laundry?
Imagine
How
caring
often
about
do I
pants
do
wrinkles.
laundry?
Yeah.
I do laundry based on how many towels I have left for the bathroom. I think I have 14, so it's usually about every 2 weeks, maybe a little bit sooner than that. Wait, no, 14. So it's about every week because I take 2 showers a day.
Wait, do you use 2 towels a day, or do you use a towel and then like not use it again until you wash it?
Yes, because the towels that I use, they're not actually towels. Well, they are towels. They're the towels that I use are very specific. They're from the Westgate Resort in Florida. Not because they're great towels. In fact, they're very shitty towels, and they do not handle water very well. So, like, I can take a shower in the morning, let's say 9 a.m., and then I can take a second shower at night, at, let's say 9 p.m., and during that second shower, the towel will still be damp.
Between 9 p.m. and 9 a.m., do you like get sweaty enough and dirty enough that you have to take another shower?
So you say that is actually the case. I don't get sweaty and dirty. I get greasy, like very greasy, like to the point where I have like a slick on my forehead and my face, and my hair. Like I've never taken pictures of it. I really should because it's really funny. But like I'll wake up in the morning and my hair will be in like a pseudo mohawk because my hair flopped onto the pillow and then got slick with grease and then dried. If I don't take the second shower in the morning, I look like a monster. So I have to take 2 showers a day.
And you don't normally? Never mind.
Thanks, Adrian. Now I know
Public
listen. I know we're already 7 minutes into this. However, I neglected a conversation with Grant earlier today because he responded to a thing I sent him, and then I didn't see it, and I just watched Pirates of the Caribbean instead. I didn't see it. I want to make that clear. I was not ignoring Grant. But
Can't believe he was ignoring me.
Grant, I want to have we don't necessarily have to get super in depth on the conversation, but I don't know. How'd you feel about the clip that I sent you? I mean, should we, for the sake of the other people who are in the call, should we summarize it, or should we just have this conversation between you and me?
I mean, we could just add quick context. It was. Do you want to explain it since they're your boys?
That's true. So there's a podcast that I watch every once in a while with 2 guys who do like YouTube stuff, and they also do Twitch stuff. So I followed them for a while, and I respect their opinions. The name of the podcast is Check the Wire, and the point is that it's not just like them talking about nothing. They're basically talking shop about being YouTubers and Twitch streamers. So every week it's a topic like that, like how do you deal with your community, or how did you get started, and stuff like that. And the big topic that they discussed this week was about working for free. Like, what does that mean? What does that imply? So I sent Grant like a clip, or I sent him the video and told him to go to a certain part in the video where they started that discussion, and I didn't actually read any of Grant's response because it was like 10 messages.
I see how it is.
Listen, guy. I figured I'd talk to you later anyway. So, what did you think?
As I said in my messages, no. I mean, the way they talked about it, it seemed like they were just like, yeah, all you got to do is work for free if you have the time, and then things will just work out. And it's like, well, no, that's not how that works. At least in my opinion.
Because they had two similar opinions, but differed very sharply on certain points. Like Dan being like, yeah, I will just put a message out into the ether asking people to send me like samples, or not samples, to like, hey, here's a clip, edit it, send it back to me, and maybe we'll work together. That's a huge no-no, at least for me, because it's like, you're literally, like, I mean, I know people are fans and stuff like that, but I don't know, it feels like you're robbing people. It feels like you're taking advantage.
It seems like you're taking
of them.
advantage. Yeah.
There you go. It feels like you're taking advantage of them. And the main reason why I sent it to you, because obviously I still want to hear more of your opinion, but it was just like, as I was making lunch today, I was watching the podcast, and I just kept getting upset, because I'm like, this is literally, the two of them are just talking about, like, the capitalistic notion of racing to the bottom, right? Because NL was like, listen, I don't make enough money to hire, like, you know, a professional editor, so I might outsource my editing to someone in, like, you know, a place with lower, like, cost of living or whatever.
Possible, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're literally just personifying the, like, race to the bottom. This is why, like, the animation industry is fucked right now and stuff like that. And it's just super weird because, like, neither of those guys actually care about this stuff. And they have their own businesses and their own, like both of them are fathers. You know what I mean? Like, they have a whole other world of stuff that they're worried about. But it still really upset me, where it's just like, guys, come on. You can't just take advantage of people like that because it's convenient for you.
The cost of living shit was like, oh, like, yeah, I'll just look for people, you know, who don't need as much, and it's like, that doesn't make sense.
It's not that they don't need as much as that they're literally willing to take whatever it is.
Exactly. And so they're like, I don't want to say desperate, but like you said, more willing.
And I mean, like, because the thing is that, like, I sort of get it, right? Because for NL's case, when he was talking about it, he was like, yeah, I feel like what I need to do in order to step up my game is get an editor, but I presently don't make enough money to hire like an editor in the area, so I'm thinking about outsourcing it, essentially, is what he was saying. And it's like, I get that, but also that's fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like the capitalist kind of mentality a little bit. This is where, like, the greed factor comes in. Regardless of what you are, you basically want to get as much profit as you can for the least amount of money.
Right, and that's
I
just...
heard us criticizing capitalism, and I came as soon as I could.
Hello, Carrie.
Well, yeah,
yes,
mean,
we're all
like
college students.
Yeah, there's, like, good and bad to everything, but in my mind, I think it all just comes down to every system is abused because of greed.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like, I don't know. I mean, we're not talking about the accolades or detriments of capitalism here. that is not what we're what we're going to be talking about.
No, yeah, I didn't want to get into that. That's why I just gave, like, an overview of, like, well, regardless of whether it's good or bad, everything is going to be, like, it's going to be negated towards the negative because of people's greed for something.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a very simplistic version of a very complex topic.
Any other statements that you wanted to make, Grant? I have no idea how much of the video that you watched, because I think I told you to start watching at about, like, the half-hour mark, and I think they talked about it for like 45 minutes. So I'm assuming you didn't watch the whole thing.
I watched like 10 minutes into it.
Yeah, that's fine. Anything else that you wanted to mention during that? Just because it's like, I know this is a conversation you and I have had before.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff of them doing stuff for free was interesting, because, as I said at the beginning, like, oh yeah, stuff will just work out, and it's like, no, it's not.
I wish.
Because like Dan's argument of like he it's really difficult, right? Because people will employ fallacies just offhandedly because it's easy to do and people don't think about it, right? But Dan made a comment where the comment at first was valid, and then he employed a fallacy, which makes you question it, right? Where the first statement that he said was like, well, if you have some free time, maybe instead of just watching TV, you should spend a little bit of that time working on something for your career. And I was like,
right.
That's super right. That is super correct. That makes a lot of sense. People waste a lot of time during the day. I say, sweating a little bit. But then he immediately goes into like a straw man argument of like, people will watch 8 hours of Netflix per day and then complain that nothing's getting done in their life. And I'm like, you're sort of right, but that's not like the average case. Like, you're immediately hopping to an extreme example in order to try and validate your shitty opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, so we're gonna start the game here in a second. Luckily, that didn't take that long. I was afraid I was gonna get too hyped and talk about too much. Um,
2 hours later.
yeah, exactly.
I had a point I thought about adding, but I decided against it.
Well, no. What do you want to say? I'm actually quite interested to hear what you have to say.
Well, I was just gonna say to that
I'm about to
point
say
where it's like,
you're the only artist among the 5 of us. Like, how do you feel
Am I?
about this?
I do a
Well,
little bit of art, but
Saba, you're a writer.
no, but
Writing is
remember
art.
I had to start out as an artist, okay?
Right, but I'm
That hurts.
saying that you call yourself a writer.
Yeah.
You can be both.
writing
I'm
is
not saying you
Oh,
can't be
creative.
both. I'm
thanks,
just saying
Grant.
you have to pick a
Someone
primary.
believes in me.
Anyway,
Pick
Well,
one.
I'm a secondary artist, okay? Is that good enough for you?
Have you
I
been
was just
commissioned?
gonna say,
Okay, wait, let's just hear Adrian. I'm sorry, Adrian.
Yes, sorry, Adrian.
I was gonna say that, I mean, the idea that if you do your job and you complete everything part of it, the idea that like going home and watching Netflix is a waste of time is predicated on the idea that you serve your job, not the other way around.
Correct. That's a really good point that I super did not think about. Because that's
So it's
time.
like-
Because that's time for yourself. That's not necessarily wasted.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that don't like their job and just do it to make ends meet, and it's like, well, why should they, if they make ends meet, have to spend their free time doing their job they don't like?
Right.
That's a really, because I immediately see the perspective against that, where it's just like, oh, well, if you're not putting 100% effort, because this is like the thing my parents have said to me like my entire lives, is that like any time I spent playing video games or watching TV, they would constantly be like, you should be doing
Right.
homework, you should be studying. And it's like, well, I'm getting a decent grade in the class right now. Why put in so much more effort for such like little gain at this point? And that's actually the same thing. That's really good. I totally didn't think of that.
I mean, this is because, like, as of the last few years, my view on just the world generally has changed from everything we create should serve us, not the other way around. We made society to serve us, not so we could serve society. Like, this is a pretty fundamental idea that I think is pretty important for a lot of things. We create art to fulfill us, and we might spend a lot of ourselves on art, but at the end of the day, the art's supposed to fulfill us. Same with jobs, like work, etc.
Needless to say, I don't know if Saba has a comment on this, but I feel like society at large doesn't agree with that sentiment. I super
Exactly,
do.
it doesn't. But it should be the default thing, because that sounds, when you think about, like, yeah, I don't exist, I wasn't born, like, alright, we have baby number 7,031,000,031. You will serve the economy in X way now, and that will be your life purpose. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I want the economy to give me money so I can, I don't know, sleep, have food, and eat when I want to. Not so I can sleep, have food, and eat when it wants me to.
I feel like we should dedicate a little bit of time, definitely not right now, but a little bit of time later for this sort of discussion again, just because I'm really interested in hearing your guys' opinion on this stuff. Now, Saba, did you have something to say or no? Because I saw that you were muted and then came back.
I mean, I was just gonna say that I think all of this, like your work stuff, also is on. It's also on the idea of how much like success you have or how easily you can gain success. Like, for example, if you're already doing well in something, it's like your grades, right? If you're already doing well in something, you have to wonder, well, how much work do I actually need to put in to what I'm doing? Do I have to spend every waking moment on it? Or I could just spend like 10 minutes and have like the same result.
I mean, that's the thing, is like, how do you even know that?
Well, yeah, and I mean, like I said, this is, or like you were saying, this is a topic that can be like talked about a lot, so I don't want to get too much into it.
We'll shelve it for later. That being said, I did have one more thing that I wanted to talk to Grant about, because when I was originally planning on having the discussion, I had another thing that I wanted to talk about. This is also a hot take that Northern Lion had on stream yesterday, and I wanted to share it with Grant, just because Grant and I have had this conversation before. So, as I've said before, Northern Lion is having a kid. Their daughter, Luna, is going to be brought into the world, and people were asking questions about how Northern Lion is planning on parenting his daughter, right? And a lot of the stuff he said is like pretty normal, pretty whatever. But then it came to a point which I felt like was a sticking point a little bit. It rubbed me the wrong way, and so I wanted to share. They asked him, how much are you gonna care about your child's grade, right?
Your student's great.
How much are you?
Freudian slip there.
Listen, how much are you going to care about your child's grade? And Northernlion's
Okay.
response was, "Oh, if she's not getting straight A's, she's not trying hard enough."
Oh no.
Right?
That's that is not a hot take. That's a
Yeah.
very lukewarm take, actually.
Well, let me continue, because it kind of went a little bit deeper than that, at least in my opinion. Where, actually, I guess that's true. I guess that's different culturally. But anyway, he went on to explain, because chat exploded with "What the hell are you talking about?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, if she's not getting straight A's in all of her classes, that means she's spending too much time not focusing on classes. And how hard could classes be anyway? I did it just fine."
Oh.
This is again.
That was the part.
Oh.
That was the part that really irked me. Was the, well, it was fine for me, because that's a super boomer like attitude that
This
I did
is-
not expect him to have.
An unbelievably lukewarm take. I cannot comprehend how someone would think this is a hot take.
Would you care to explain yourself?
Where were you in the
I
life?
guess as an Asian, I've been subsumed in this exact attitude my entire life. So,
Wow. Somewhat similar to that too. Sucks.
I've heard this exact argument many, many, many times in my life. And, yeah. I mean, I don't like hearing it. I've lived against it.
Now, are you saying it's not a... So I would like to explain that, in my opinion, a hot take, it means that, to me, it is wrong. Like, it is not the direction that you should be doing.
Okay. Well,
That is what I mean by hot take. I know
Right,
that hot
my-
take normally means, like, against the curve. That is what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean that is an opinion that does not necessarily promote the things that I think it should be promoting. Do you agree with that statement, or...
I agree that it's an incorrect statement, but I don't agree that it's a revolutionary statement that's that should be very controversial generally. I think it's a pretty accepted attitude.
Okay.
Societally?
Yeah,
I mean, in general, right? They're like, if you don't have A's, where an A is like a praiseworthy thing, right? Usually
Yeah, but
they say just you have to work
but
harder.
that's like my thing, and obviously I'm not going to be a father for a while. But it's just like, that's the thing that always bothered me about the whole thing of like, oh well, you got to get straight A's. That's super arbitrary. And also, 90% of the things you learn in school you never use again in your entire life. And so it's just like, and once again, this is obviously like very culturally different between some of us, but it's just like, that's why it was such like a shocking thing to me, because it was just like, why put your daughter through that much stress and anguish for essentially no reason? That's just me.
Might also have to do with work ethic.
Correct, but that's different. Just because they're not getting straight A's in class doesn't mean that they don't have a good work ethic.
But that, I mean, we don't understand, like, based off of what he's saying, maybe he values or he thinks that getting straight A's conduces to having a good work ethic.
Correct, and I think that's wrong. Hence why I thought it was a hot take.
Well,
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure generally your definition of hot take is not the one that everyone else uses.
I'm learning this quickly. I am learning this as I bring this up, because to me that was what my understanding of hot take was.
Right. Generally, from what I know, it's a hot take is a controversial opinion. Which I guess
it's controversial to me. I guess.
I guess in certain circles that could be a hot take, but I
It's
think
your
broadly
hot
that's
take.
not.
I'm about to say, I guess from literally the most narrow perspective possible, it is my hot take because I think it's controversial.
Sure.
All right. Well, that was
Yeah,
good.
but
I'm glad we
Another
had this
here.
discussion.
Shit.
Yeah.
I beat my personal best on my phone Tetris last night, so that was pretty good.
Congratulations.
Nice.
I got hang on, what was my score? I got 247,409.
Oh my
My
god.
best score was for that was 148,000.
Nice.
So I beat my last score by 100,000.
That's very good. Congratulations.
These numbers mean nothing if you don't play the exact same game of phone Tetris that I do.
I was about to say, do
no,
you
but
do
but you
the purple
described
one?
the comparison between what you had and what you didn't have, so I assume
guess.
that's pretty good. All
Yeah.
right. I'm still streaming for you guys, yeah?
Yeah, we
understood.
just streamed that 25-minute discussion, so
Yeah, we did.
Fantastic.
I'll highlight it later for my own purposes.
that's fine.
Anywho, I did want to say real quick, if I have to leave the stream a little bit early, I made myself some hot chocolate before the stream, and I realized that I hadn't actually touched my hot cocoa powder in a really long time, so I was like, oh, dude, you know what? Fucking 4 spoonfuls instead of 2 of like,
Oh my god.
of like chocolate powder.
You're crazy.
Don't
And
get
then-
too wild tonight, Zach.
This thing is 90% chocolate.
Oh my god.
Don't get too wild. Let's not get hazy here.
Shut up, Adrian. I'll kill you.
I mean, this is spoken from someone who's spent the last several weeks indoors, so.
I think we've all spent the last couple of weeks indoors.
We should have.
Have all of you been good? Have all of you been staying?
Well, I mean, some of us might have jobs that are necessary or whatever, so.
I mean, I just applied for a job, so we'll see how that one works out.
Anyway.
Don't remind me, Carrie. That's what I need to do.
Carrie,
I mean,
read it all?
finding out the SL9... What?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were reading.
I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Why are you reading it like that?
Because...
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky sisters were in that file.
In case you didn't read it, player.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. Oh, shoot. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue.
Isn't that what you did? Initially?
So I ran over there and looked at it again.
What,
You were
just
holding
now?
her back, Phoenix.
So did you find something?
How did she get in without the guest ID?
No. I did not.
Maybe
That's
she-
why she didn't find anything.
Oh.
Alright.
Huh?
Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Not really.
Hey man, I'm a high school student.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
On point, Carrie.
What is
yeah.
she, Beacons? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And
Oh
I'm,
god.
and I'm an attorney.
Would
I
you
like the
call me
idea
up
of
as a witness
Meekins-
if I were a worm?
The fuck? I like the idea of Meekins being 24 but still a high school student because he's dumb. Anyway.
Oof.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have.
That's a good point. Why don't we have the blood checked?
If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional.
I am?
If anyone, I read that as llama for a second.
If anyone can save Llama, it's you!
My poor llama.
My beloved sister, Llama.
Her name's Llama now.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright.
But that's not how this works!
Time's up. He pulls out a gun.
We gave you 24 hours. With regard to the incident at the police department,
Excuse you, sir. If you gave me 24 hours, I have 2 hours left. Or an hour and a half, because we spent a
we
lot of it talking.
gave you 22 hours.
No!
Any reasonable doubt remains.
Yes?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark.
You should be too. What is this system?
Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Yes.
It was my
It's not.
handprint.
Well, it
Oh,
might
God.
be. Wait, it might be in the video. It'd be behind Blue Badger, right?
But Blue
Yeah.
Badger was in the way, right? So
Yeah, so you
technically
can't
that
see it on the
couldn't have
video.
happened.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still.
Some crimes can never be forgiven.
Like being fucking useless.
If you can't find anything with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I needed to concentrate, it's now.
He just...
What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
His eyes start glowing.
Could there be... Oh! I mean, I object, obviously.
Wait, so they said this handprint occurred during the time of the murder?
No one said that.
When did this handprint occur?
We don't know.
Okay, let's continue.
That's why
then,
I'm saying. That's why I'm saying in the video it could have already been there, but we don't know, because the person who made this handprint had gloves on, which no one in the video did. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
Oh, the only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
Grasp your fucking throat.
Grasp your fucking nuts.
Oh.
Nuts!
Oh,
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans.
You've been staring pretty intently at those nuts.
And those nuts. Is there something you want, Mr. Wright?
What's the Game Grumps quote for the Christmas special that they did? Like, we got a jingle jangle problem over here. Santa Claus going nuts.
Santa's going nuts.
It's really good.
Tell me, is there a problem with them?
My nuts?
With your nuts?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these nuts.
Take a good look at these nuts.
Something is missing.
missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yes, something that when drawn will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time.
Like that time Edgeworth did.
Very
Yeah,
well.
but he works for the
Right.
government, so he gets away with it.
Exactly.
Yes.
With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plan?
Is it? But we didn't. And that's where my question comes in. When was this hand mark made?
We don't know. That's what I'm saying.
So freaking convoluted.
What do you mean? What
Because
else
if
could
it-
it have been?
It was
I
definitely.
guess.
It was
They're
definitely the
deductions.
Blue Badger, because they're talking about how on this floor plan something
Yeah.
is not drawn in, which would have interfered with the thing. It's definitely the Blue Badger.
Yeah, it was the Blue Badger's eldritch hand that stretched out from the back of his head whenever you're not looking. Love the handprint there.
My goodness.
Oh God, he's here.
Oh, love steak. What about that piece of plywood?
He just shoves Emma out of the way.
The blue. No, he ate her. He
I
pureed
drank
her.
Emma in my flask.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
he pureed
Oh,
her.
no.
Oh no. The Blue Badger. Mascot
Watch
of
that
the police
regurgitator
force.
right up.
Oh god.
Emma! Oh my God, Emma, are you okay?
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
I don't need to explain shit to you. You clearly don't have to me. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here.
So,
So watch what happens when we put him in. Oh. Excuse me. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime.
What's
Well.
the little label?
Well, what?
Huh?
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger was dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot in the locker. Okay, that makes sense.
So it couldn't have totally been pushed at all. Just a little bit. Like you
that
couldn't have just
regurgitator.
pushed it over and put
No,
it back up.
because that didn't happen in the video.
no one can touch me, but do I allow?
So that means, what exactly does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
Want some more jerky, right? I got some more right here.
Obviously.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found at that locker.
Did anybody check the blood? Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. I survived being thrown out, like, through the entire podium, by the way. Thanks for asking. On that afternoon...
Yay.
Oh, that was a real line. No, this is a real line.
Oh, after you put it down, it'd be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
Good word,
Ooh,
Judge.
Judge is getting heated.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor.
But it's really pidgey.
Oh,
Fucking. It may sound
no.
far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's really
Oh.
cha-ding. Anyway,
I
but
just
it's the
got that.
only
That was
possible
great.
explanation. On February
Yes.
21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
Like I detected on this tape, taken by a skirt girl.
Jesus Christ, right?
Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell.
Jake Marshall gave him some steak juice.
Yeah, Marsha's like, right, if you're gonna drink it, you gotta drink it like this.
Oh my god.
Yes, Saba, what? Do you want me to stop doing that?
I mean, to a
I
certain
need to-
point, I like it, but you just gotta. There's
Oh,
certain
what the
noises that
fuck?
might be.
Oh, Saba, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is a family-friendly show. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, because that's exactly what I meant, Zach. Thank you so much.
You said it,
Fucking-
not me.
We're just
Yeah,
talking
this is
about
a
nuts for
fucking
like
family
25
fucking
minutes.
friendly show.
Yeah, for fuck's
You
sake, you guys.
fucking asshole! What the fuck?
Now we're
Anyway,
gonna lose
back
our
to talking.
monetization.
Oh my god.
Back to talking about nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're talking about fucking peanuts. What are you talking about?
The problem
Walnuts.
is,
How
the
dare
problem
you?
is,
Peanuts, but without the T.
I'm sorry,
It's
Adrian. Do you want me to
superior
read
nut.
this line?
spell iCup real quick.
P P P P P.
You said PP.
Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been. It had to have been. Detective Goodman, when he was really murdered. When he was already murdered.
Oh my
That's
lord.
ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
I refuse to accept your stupid haircut.
Still better looking than yours.
What are you talking about? My haircut makes me go so fast.
It's aerodynamic.
Ugh.
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be fake. Sorry.
Jesus.
Now I'm just thinking of Phoenix. He's going like, "You stupid bitch! This makes me go really fast." Meow. Meow.
As he like teleports behind Edgeworth.
Nothing personnel, kid. And Edgeworth
Edgeworth's
is
like-
just like a plywood like standee, and he's behind Phoenix, being like, "Oh, but now it's personal." And it's like, no.
And just like, oh yeah, well, Mike make me fly, and his hair like flaps off like giant wings, lets him float in the air.
Oh my god.
However, that does not, dude. I'm already feeling the sugar hit my system.
Oh no.
It does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. Yes, Saba, you have a comment? I'm gonna
I
keep
do.
talking
So
so
then,
you can't read
assuming
your
this
line
murder, your
properly.
purpose is
You
really
will not be
happening.
able.
I'm done. When did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred.
When did the first incident occur? I got it. No, bitch, I got it.
Who summarized the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right. Oh shit.
Okay, very well, then tell us.
I.
How does it feel, Zach?
Why for me to skip myself?
Cut yourself off. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
No, I didn't cut myself. Then I'd be fucking Officer Meekins.
Ooh.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
I believe it is this.
My badge.
I believe it is this because there is still
It's
an
my-
ID number at 420.
It's my Nutella.
it's my Nutella and Dandelion.
The iconic Nutella and Dandelion combo.
Does anybody disagree with me, by the way?
I agree. This looks right.
I think that's right.
All right, so
February
I'm
21st.
gonna pick
that's six,
I'm gonna pick the Dandelion.
Okay.
February 21st is 6 days after my birthday.
Nice.
What? If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card. Oh! The ID card record.
Thanks, Judge.
I figured it out. I'm the best.
The judge is single-handedly the one that solves every case.
He's the one who makes the verdict. It's all his responsibility. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at...
Let's see here. 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Scared myself. Miles Edward, what have you done?
Not again.
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy.
Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
Nope, I ain't get it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
Well, I work with all these imbeciles. It's clear from the luminal test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away. But the real murder, or by the real murderer, sorry.
I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Nah, that's bullshit.
420.
This is bullshit. This is an anime universe. He totally could have did all that shit in 10 minutes.
He could have used his power to stop time briefly.
His
Adrian.
antagonist powers.
Adrian. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card remaining. 7 sevens.
Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. There goes my point. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7 sevens.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777.
Wait, so how have we been saying it?
7
7
sevens.
sevens. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor.
What kind of fucking dweeb counts that?
I told you it's 7777777. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present, that is.
What?
Explain yourself, son.
The ID number 7 sevens belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
What?
Don't you remember this when he was handing it off? Marshall was like, yeah, I can't tell you whose ID it is.
Oh, yes. That's ridiculous. Oh. But that's ridiculous. Just how...
Another one for the counter.
No.
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright.
I wish you would be finished.
There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official charge is filed against an executive, it is accepted.
An official charge.
You are all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries and your eating solid foods. That's how the prosecutor the office operates.
That's a really good point, because last night you showed that he fucking could not deal with jerky. So I think he can literally only eat liquids.
My teeth are, like I said, my teeth are actually made of plastic, not enamel.
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself.
Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question.
Yes.
You're not allowed to, you're a witness.
You feeling lucky? No, not to you, to her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive.
Lana? Wait, but she's not
I
on
thought it was Llama.
she's not on the police force. Does she have a card number?
But she's an executive.
Well,
And
she
she's
is-
a
Wait,
prosecutor, right?
So does oh, and Edgeworth does. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, I totally forgot that the police department and the prosecutor's office are essentially the same thing. I forgot. Cuz I was like, I don't have an ID number. Why would he? Wait, do I?
No, you don't work for the government.
You have the visitor ID or whatever,
I have this, don't I?
Yeah.
but that's for
That. Yeah.
lawyer number.
That proves you're a lawyer, but not that you work for the government.
I'm a lawyer?
What?
Since when?
Oh,
Lana.
poggers!
Don't be
Did
stupid.
you just say
She's been
fucking
charged with murder.
poggers?
Government official poggers.
Government official poggers. It's poggers, but he's like sad.
He's crying.
Saba, did you read it?
Yes, I did. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 77s.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask.
Don't be
All I want to know is one
stupid.
thing about that incident.
What, SL9 incident?
I'm sorry, the what incident?
The slime incident?
Thank you.
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. If two guys were on in that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
She doesn't have to answer this.
If two guys were on the moon and
She's
one
gonna.
killed the other the rock, would that
I'm
be
about to.
Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
This isn't legitimate. Like you don't have to answer this.
Yeah, but she's gonna.
I won't answer. I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial.
Grant, I have a question.
What?
So since Carrie has been putting a little bit of like a spin on Emma's voice, I know that Lana's voice, we originally agreed that it would just be Mia's voice. Can you
Yeah.
literally just do the same thing, but talk in the most monotone that you possibly can?
Oh, my regular voice.
No, what?
Okay, yeah, sure.
At the time, we...
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Not bored. I meant like I don't know. I mean like a robot. You know what
Okay,
I
alright.
Oh.
mean? Otherwise, she just goes from being interesting to boring.
Lana.
Llama.
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law.
There you go. That's perfect. That perfectly matches her personality.
But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying?
What? Where are
I'll
you
ask you
standing?
Get out of the way again.
I'll
Behind
ask
him.
you again, Chief Prosecutor.
Move, bitch.
During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say you did? Not my glass eye, my real one. It's this one right here.
Chief prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer him?
I don't have to. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is.
Lana, first off,
She just-
shut the fuck up. Because you have the Fifth Amendment protecting you right now. And second off, this is fucked up and you deserve to go to jail.
She literally just said, I don't have to, and then she did answer anyway.
We did what we had to. This is a new sprite in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
This is a very weird sprite.
She's so angsty. Look at her. But Lana.
Even if it involved forging evidence.
Okay.
Are we all having fucking heat strokes? What's happening?
We're all getting flashbanged.
See? That's what I'm talking about. I'm out of flashbangs now, though, so no more dramatic silence.
No.
Oh, that was a lame read.
Order, order,
Because you
order.
skipped me,
I'm blinded!
sir.
Oh, so many flashbangs in a row!
See anything?
The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. Conclusion of
I
the
can't
trial.
see! I'm going to cast spells until I can
Why
see
is it
again!
dark? I told you I don't do good at earthquakes and dark spaces.
Firebolt! Thunderstorm! I kept gonna cast spells until I can see again!
Hey guys, what's going on? Oh my god!
Look at, we were so close. Sort of.
We've been thrown off the rhythm.
The rhythm and the rhyme.
Now
Yeah,
you got him off his rhythm.
You threw off my groove.
You threw off the Emperor's groove. I'm sorry.
That's Emma. Emma.
I read your line for you.
I'm sorry for what my sister said.
Well, that's a different crime that I don't give a fuck about. We're just proving whether or not she committed murder. Oh, this is memory.
No, you should be saying beep beep boop beep boop beep.
That's true. 1101011101.
I'm gonna go through and find out what that
I
actually
never
means
knew
binary.
that the slime incident was just another name for.
Adrian, what are you gonna try to translate into binary?
No, I was gonna go through your numbers and the clip and actually see what that translates to in binary.
Fuck.
Wait.
I, don't,
Oh my
I think I
God.
only gave you 9 numbers. I think that'll give you. I think that'll give you 1 letter and then nothing.
Well, we'll see.
The Joe Dark killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Yeah, Phoenix, you don't pay attention.
Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean, what happened to you?
It's all there in the file.
It wasn't! I read it!
Joe Dark's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's
Hey.
brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
On the night prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
Are you telling me that Lana, the chief prosecutor, used her sister as fucking bait?
Probably.
What? He tried to kill you?
Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
So that means you...
Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial.
I didn't see that one coming. I mean, I wish you would have told me.
It's very
mean-
painful, I don't want to talk about it.
Are you sure?
Um, Alright, I'll talk about it. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. Like, so you know how Mr. Edgeworth is bad with earthquakes? Yeah, it's like that with me and thunder. I was alone in my sister's office.
It's like, you know, you know how Edgeworth doesn't do well with earthquakes because of the whole earthquake situation that happened? Well, it's sort of like me with murder. If I witness a murder, I freak out.
Well, no, Emma's like, well, it's sort of like, actually, fuck, never mind. I was gonna say something super spoilery, never mind. But I also wanted
Thank
to
you
point
for
out
lying.
that, I was also gonna point out that, I looked it up, and if the Joe Dark killing took place 2 years ago, which in-game is, I think, 2015, Phoenix was between 21 and 22 when they happened, which means he just got out of college. Or was still in college if he was taking more classes than usual.
Law school.
It's interesting to think about.
So yeah. And Edgeworth is already in court. That was not his first case either.
We were planning to eat dinner together when she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Jesus Christ.
Joe Dark.
That's not a very intimidating knife. It looks like a fruit knife.
He about
It
to cut an
seemed like
apple.
he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me.
What kind of
Want
fucking
to see my knife?
What kind of knife should he have, Adrian? Should he have a fucking, like, satanic Chris?
Well, like a Bowie knife. I don't know. It looks like a fruit knife.
This is
Like
something
a
that you
paring
can
knife?
conceal.
Then I don't know. This just doesn't look very intimidating. It looks like he's like about to cut an apple really scarily.
Hmm.
Just like,
That's why he serial killed. He thought everyone was actually fruits.
oh
He was
no.
like, I'm so
I didn't-
hungry. I need to peel your skin off and then eat you.
Ugh. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother.
Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him.
Cowboy tackle.
Then,
Lone Star Tackle. What happened?
I'll never forget it.
What happened? I don't remember.
Lightning
I
struck
forgot
and
it.
the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant.
Oh, don't mind me. Just having some fun out here with my lightning magic. I mean, not that.
What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
A permanent picture.
I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
Lone Star getting stabbed.
So
Lone
you-
Star Murder.
Lone Star Death. Ah.
That's special ability.
So you weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean proved bogus evidence?
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
That, to be fair, I get it, right? Because, like, you know it's this guy, right? But the fact that he could get away because, like, you didn't have enough evidence for this particular murder, man, that really sucks. She still deserves to go to jail, though. Edgeworth.
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean, it's all my fault.
How is it your fault at all?
I'm gonna tell you, if I could have just testified properly, none of this would have ever
I'm
happened.
gonna hit you.
She was 14.
So it's true. So the legends are true.
Imagine testifying about a murder at 14.
That's a good point. Did I ever tell you that there was a girl in my high school who she just vanished from school one day, and then she didn't come back like all of the next year, and I think she came back in senior year, and that's when I learned that the reason why she had gone was because her mother was murdered in a mugging.
Yeah, you
Oh,
told me that.
Dang.
Yeah, it was fucked up, and it was really terrible because I didn't know her at all, and I didn't know what to say. Not that you really have to say anything, but I also really wanted to ask how she felt about it, because that's so unique. Like, that situation, but that's also really insensitive, so I didn't.
Yeah.
You spent
Well,
that
yeah,
year.
okay.
You spent the year dressing up as a bat and fighting crime.
That'd be
Oh.
pretty funny. No, only half of that, because her father was still alive. Anyway,
Mm.
so it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After the case ended, Lana was never the same. She started talking in like this weird robotic monotone. Like it totally wasn't her normal voice before this. She came cold like she is today.
She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant the crime occurred?
Lone Star getting stabbed. Oh,
Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Why
His
is
head
his
looked
head,
like an onion.
why is his head an acorn?
I was gonna say onion.
Oh, no, you're super right, it's onion.
Man.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
dark knife stab.
With his special move, even.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out.
You
like the idea that-
witnesses need to stop doing that.
Oh my god.
When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
What happened to Joe Dark? Poor Emma. You've been through so much in like 16 years. It's
The last
true.
thing I heard was him yelling,
What?
"Darkness vanished!"
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant.
Especially since no one was in the court at the time.
I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable. I should have edited the line and been like, that's pathetic. And just like
Oh my
double
God.
down double down on being a shitty person.
I like the idea that all these like all the fucking prosecutors and officers and like killers all have like special moves they use.
Lone Star Murder.
Once it
Lone
was all
Star.
over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator.
Fucking Damon Gant is like losing in court, and he just goes like, thunderclap fist, boom, just like punches the judge.
And that persuades him. He's like, "Oh, I guess he's guilty."
Well, you're right.
I want to
When
be
you
able to
write-
fight
write-
crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case.
Can
Develop
you
my own
guys-
special move someday.
Can you guys see this? And make my forensic slash. Can you guys
Just
see
throws-
this little knock out of the side of her head?
Which side?
Can you see
We
my
can't see your
cursor?
mouse.
Oh, you can't
No.
see my mouse.
Oh, I do see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like top right of her head, right?
Yeah.
That is
The
there,
single
right?
pixel.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Oh, it's gone.
Uh-oh.
It's only one of
Way
the sprites.
Lana would never have to forge any.
Bring it back.
Let's see. Oh,
Bring
dude,
it
that's a
back.
really good. That's a really good character validation for why you're so shitty at being a forensics like investigator.
Bro, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, you haven't even identified the blood yet. I feel like that's the first thing we should have did.
She's 16. She doesn't have she doesn't have access to all the fucking blood databases.
So she's
Think of a
useless.
Can you think of a high school that teaches forensic science in their curriculum?
You two are trying to make it seem like she's really impressive, and I will admit she's doing a lot. However, she's still ultimately useless. I want to make it perfectly clear. By the way, this is a character I'm playing. I don't actually think she's useless. She's doing a lot. But with that being said, Emma sucks. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. It's that little bug that gets into your brain, the tick Illuminati. Anyway, there's
Hard
still
veto.
I'm putting the flea Illuminati in the lore. You can't stop.
Well, I'm
me.
not.
Oh yeah, you're doing the power rankings. I'm just gonna take yours into MS Paint, add a little section at like the very top, and just say the flea Illuminati. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime.
Listen, if you can veto the Sword of Ancients being consumed by a lot of horror, I can veto the Flea Illuminati.
No, I vetoed the Sword of the Ancients being consumed because I want the Sword of the Ancients to come back.
Yeah.
I vetoed something leaving the lore. You're trying to veto something entering the lore. That's bullshit.
You vetoed stuff entering the lore before.
That's true. Alright. The Flea Illuminati is dark lore. You're not allowed to talk about it. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
It's this 1,000 piece set I got from the Chinese market the other day.
It's really hard.
It has no picture on it. Can you believe this bullshit?
It just has it upside down.
You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right?
That's right.
Why were you guys eating in the office? Then why would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but was he being chased by a prosecutor?
And screaming.
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police?
I mean, yeah. Of course, this happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator. But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective.
What?
What?
Witnesses.
Yeah, executive investigators, I guess. Sure.
Who was the chief prosecutor then?
I don't know.
Damon Gant.
Well, no, go back. I said Edgeworth was prosecuting. Because he's the one that used the evidence.
He was Grant was asking who was the chief prosecutor, like
Oh, I don't know.
overall, not who was on the case. Yeah,
Maybe it was Von Karma.
maybe.
She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's news to me.
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective, so does she have a locker? Like, still? I better have another talk with her. Alright. Have you seen my badge? See this? It's my attorney's badge.
Oh, well, I've never seen a real one before.
You're the first one who's actually been interested in mine, believe me.
Its composition is mostly silver. The gold plating is flaking a bit.
She analyzed it scientifically.
There doesn't appear to be any corrosion due to sulfides. I'd give you $50 for it.
I forgot we already did this, but this is good. Sorry, but it's not for sale yet. Right. Okay. Detention center, I guess, yeah?
Sure.
Are you ready, Grant?
Yep.
Hello.
Hello,
Lana,
Mr. Wright. It seems I keep causing you trouble.
Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type.
Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we?
Because that's what the law is.
but Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty.
Believe me, I understand the risks.
Lana, Emma told me about you.
Oh,
About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the slime incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office.
that's right.
Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs?
I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright.
Alright, goodbye. Just leave.
I will proceed to not tell you anything.
Thanks, you are a Phoenix Wright witness. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago.
Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be.
That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth.
It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul to Von Karma,
No, to Damon Gant.
to Damon Gant and Von Karma.
Cause she was executive investigator with Damon Gant, so she sold her soul to him so he could just fabricate evidence out of lightning.
Alright, Damon. I'll split you halvesies on this. Sounds good to me.
So they just like get a knife and cut her soul.
Here, I'll use my demon knife. Oh, fun. Good show.
Who's the second voice? Sorry?
Von
It's
Karma and
Damon
Damon.
and Von Karma.
Montgomery's not a demon, though.
He got it as a special gift, as a Christmas present from.
From Damon
Yeah,
Gant?
Yeah, they're on good terms.
Okay, I'm glad that Damon Gant, the lightning demon, is on good terms with an AMV pyre.
Yeah.
Well, all the drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department.
It's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us?
Emma, this doesn't involve just me.
I don't think I've ever seen Lana look this phased before. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look this direction before. I mean, we literally have, but still.
It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago.
She was amazing.
She forged evidence.
I'm amazing.
Did the photo come out right? Did I blink? If not, don't bother taking it again.
No, you're fine.
Oh, they
Carrie.
still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
Crack open a case with me
Chief Gant?
and the boys.
He was
He
the
was
deputy chief. Oh.
Excuse you. He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be.
A lightning demon.
My tie was not across at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
He got it when he became chief.
They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed.
That's
What?
not cool, Emma. That's not something to be lauded. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was
To gain experience investigating crime scenes so you can use that experience in court, right?
You read my memoirs, yes.
Gant's help in the Sline incident case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago.
I will say, by the way, that you say that it's not cool they solve cases before they be filed. That's kind of just what Edgeworth does in the investigations games.
You know, you're super right. But you're right. Damn it, I hate that you're right.
2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark.
No, but see, that's okay because anyway, second in command. That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, yeah?
Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and same investigations.
They even had the same office.
And they were roommates.
We were roommates. Yeah.
Thought they were roommates.
We led a team of the best detectives on the force. They had the strongest super moves. Detective
There's the
Goodman,
Chick-fil-A.
whose
We gotta
case
go
it
there
was.
next this week. They're
Jake
having a
Marshall.
deal, 50% off.
This
Angel
fucking-
Star.
This fucking running joke of Jake Marshall like putting so much effort into like we're gonna go to every fast food restaurant in the city.
It was the
Goodman's
first
like,
time. Oh, sorry, go on.
why don't we go to Jack in the Box?
It's the most effective McDonald's. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho.
Every time Lana ordered for pickup.
The ho and gung ho.
Ooh, without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place.
Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark.
You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me.
The reason that Prosecutor Marshall lost was because he was too full up on Jack in the Box and he couldn't fight properly.
He wasn't at his peak strength.
He had the jalapeno poppers. They're devastating on your stomach.
Oof. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore, though.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
There's a clone of Lana next to her now. That's what she's looking over the side for. Thank her clone.
Thank you, clone. Very cool.
Very cool.
No problem.
Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Gant and myself.
That's where he found me.
It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I
It
returned
looks like
to
a
my
fucking.
office,
Looks like a master sword.
Oh.
let's pull this out.
It's the
I
demon
saw
knife.
three bodies on the floor and smelled blood.
It's the opposite of. It's the
Well,
opposite.
Emma,
Of, yeah.
Prosecutor Marshall, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious.
Lone Star minor concussion. No, minor concussion.
To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. What?
Nothing.
After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest.
Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident?
That's quite a coincidence, and
I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident, just by chance.
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved.
Officer Marshall, yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Till I lost the ability to be surprised. Ever since his brother died, he changed completely.
I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark.
Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories.
That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right?
Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the chief's office.
Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final Slime murder.
Please feel free. It's not booby trap with 600,000 volts of electricity wire fence. The doorknob definitely isn't a 1 million volt taser.
No,
definitely doesn't steal your
600,000
soul.
volts.
Von Karma got his stun gun from Damon as a present.
Oh!
Oh, the deep lore.
Alright, should we present anything or should we just immediately go to the
I think we
office?
just go Gant.
In return, Von Karma gave him a copy of the Necronomicon.
I don't like him just photocopying that. No one's here today, not even Miss Star.
Oh, everybody's probably busy looking into exactly what went down in the evidence room. Sorry, I was caught up in Snapchat filters. That must be where the detectives are.
But we proved in court today that on that day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m.
Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway on our case.
But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty.
Hang in there, Lana.
Gotta find all the answers by tomorrow. Alright, wait, we can't even go that high. Oh, he's probably... Oh, I'm an idiot. He's probably in the police department.
Okay.
Yeah, Damon against the chief of police, not the
Yeah, I
prosecutor. Howdy, Bambina.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
I never thought things turned out this way, and I woke up this morning.
How are you not in jail?
Good point.
Cause Sarah, you never know where life will lead you. Way, Bambina?
Wouldn't it be Sarah?
I
Whatever.
don't know, it's Spanish.
Because I think it's whatever...
Okay, Sarah.
Because it'd be
Yeah.
whatever will
My-
be, will be.
My Grorks broke me out of prison. They sprung me out.
Fuck.
Should have known my luck and run out when old Billy dried up this morning. That's the name of my second Grork. He ran out
Alright.
of water.
Hello, Marshall. This is Phoenix Wright talking to you right now. I have a question for you. How big
Yeah.
is a Grork?
Depends how old they are.
Okay. How big is Billy the Grork?
Oh, Billy? Size that car over there.
Man. Oh, okay. Cool.
That's on and off day.
Billy?
What the fuck does that mean, Grant?
Oh, you'll know.
Must be his pet cactus.
No, that's my Grork. Say, where are you headed? Oh, sorry.
Say, where you headed?
Just over the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. They're gonna execute me right on the spot
With my own gun.
with my own Grork. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner.
What?
I'm not allowed to carry guns. I'm allowed to raise Grorks and use
But
them as
Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
Why did prospectors head west?
Because they follow, like, specularism?
If there was ever a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one.
Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened?
Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning.
It was probably all the merfolk that were in the stands.
That's racist.
It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought.
How is that
so.
racist?
Calling them fishy.
What do you mean, fishy?
Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon.
The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip?
That was Joe Dark's alright. But, the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
A question?
The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained.
What does that mean?
It means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon.
Oh.
However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased.
Is this not the murder weapon?
They're talking about Sline.
Right, but I'm saying, but these cases are very similar, and I'm wondering if the exact same thing is happening twice.
Oh, maybe.
Perhaps.
Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence?
That case left behind scars in all of us.
So, when I'm skipping my dialogue like that, I'm clicking to try to get to the end of the dialogue box so we can just read it all. However, sometimes it's doing an animation. Like, it's not actually printing out the text, it's doing an animation, and by clicking, I just skip the animation.
They added a thing in 3DS games where you can like click and it'll show you the recent dialogue that you read through.
Oh, that'd be so nice to have, to be honest. I heard that in the 3DS version, they also added this like little slider on the side of the 3DS where if you turn it up, the screen goes 3D.
I was hoping that wasn't where you were going, but it was.
The scars that the SL9 incident left behind.
I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around.
I'd agree. I think Jake looks better than Neil.
I'd say Neil looks better.
I mean, Jake mentioned that Neil was like, no one could beat him in a fight, apparently, so apparently he also got the muscles.
That's also true. Well, maybe no one
Aaron
can
and
beat
Braun.
Jake. He's never fought anyone. Also, wait, no, because Neil... Oh, does that mean that Neil can beat? Oh my God, put him in the power rankings.
Neil never ate fast food with us. He always ate protein shakes and fitness powder and was working out constantly.
Who
He's
is he?
swole as hell.
Who is he? Bobby?
Oh,
No, if he was Bobby, he'd have to do a bunch of cocaine too. Anyway.
Dude's back was shaped like a
Oh.
triangle. I just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together.
And your
It was
last.
Lifting cars, lifting grorks, lifting pillars.
How
of
old was
stone.
he, your brother?
He was 72.
Damn.
Oh.
He was 27 at the time.
Oh.
He was awarded the highest honor that day, Mr. Universe.
The highest
Oh
honor.
my
You
God.
mean the King of Prosecutors Award? Yeah.
King of Prosecutors. Also, he was a legendary bodybuilder.
I knew it.
What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor.
I still find that super weird, by the way, and I want to take a moment to talk about it. Why the fuck is this in our evidence? Right?
Because it was nice and it looks really cool, so we just
Yeah, we
had to
stole
take
it
it.
from Edgeworth.
No, I know, but like I don't know. Is there anything else in our evidence that we haven't presented yet? Like we haven't presented this.
I just think it's neat.
I just think it's neat.
We
I
haven't
don't know.
presented our attorney's badge, or had to anyway.
Listen, I mean, we didn't present this. We didn't present the vase yet, and we didn't present this fucking trophy. I'm assuming it'll all come together or some bullshit.
Probably. I already read this.
Thank you. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother.
The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as...
That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer.
Interesting.
It was drizzling that morning. By nightfall, there was thunder and ominous laughter outside. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die.
Apparently, someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty.
There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was killed. Apocalyptic event. Replaced with gumshoes. We have to go to the... Next up is the Wendy's. Over here.
We're
Next,
gonna
the
run
gas
out of fast
station.
food places.
impossible.
Miss Starr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. I raised torch from
Neil
then
was
on.
murdered. What
Neil
about
was
Detective
busy
Goodman?
If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful not to be too obvious.
Are you sure, or are you sure it wasn't because he was in on it? They?
Who are you talking about?
Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean, Damon Gant, Lana Scott.
Okay.
The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second in command, Lana Sky. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. The case was the biggest step in both their careers.
After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right?
Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. Also, he hated pictures where his eyes were closed, said if he had any, he would destroy you. Here, have this picture, Phoenix. She's never been the same since she left.
That's literally, I don't know if you're aware of this, but that's literally just an SCP. You know that, right?
Probably. I believe it.
There's an SCP where it hates people seeing its face, so it constantly covers it with its hands. And you can literally like fucking be on the surface of the moon and look at a picture of him, and he will fucking superhero jump to the moon just to murder you. Yeah, there you go.
Huh?
Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective.
Now that he mentions it, I would have said something like that too.
Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Well, she got promoted to chief prosecutor.
Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out.
Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago.
So there you have. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? Give it a good review on Yelp.
It certainly was enlightening.
I'm gonna start a fast food restaurant where I tell that story. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today.
What would Marshall call his fast food restaurant?
Marshall Mellows. He only sells marshmallows.
Alright, that's a good pun. I was gonna say Lone Star Food. That's what I was gonna say, but that's a good pun.
That boy Edgeworth is. That boy ain't right. That boy Edgeworth is my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him the evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. I'll be a corpse.
What the fuck was that?
Oh God.
Too bad I won't be around to work with you. When you become a real scientific investigator, Damon's going to electrocute me with enough power to kill 14 Grorks. Adios, Bambina.
I don't like the fucking amorphous state of Grorks. I don't understand what they are.
When I'm dead, take care of my Grorks, Phoenix.
I trust my Grorks to Phoenix and Emma Sky.
Oh, I
Oh
can't.
my God! Hey, look at that.
I'm going to eat the Grorks. They will be extinct.
Oh god.
Okay.
This is
I
the
wanted
last
to. I
Grork.
wanted to see if we could investigate the fucking handprint on his face, but I guess not. Wait, what?
Criminal Affairs Department, and then presumably the office after that.
right.
Hello, Phoenix.
Ooh,
Long
nice.
time no see.
Oh god. The place is pretty empty, but today is deserted. Oh, dude, I forgot about the first fucking blue badger that's just sitting here.
You chilling.
Yeah.
Must mean everybody's busy solving crimes.
Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room.
Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us.
With the chief prosecutor saying she did end the decision about what to do. Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas together.
I think festive is the word you would use for those.
No,
Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office.
just use the connecting hall to the other building and take the elevator to top floor.
We're just allowed in his office?
Really? You mean it's okay for us to just go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Nah, I trust you.
Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits.
Damn it, Emma.
Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
It's because he's made of these Kermits.
Oh god.
He's only slightly more competent than them.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
Alright, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm gonna keep playing Neopets on my computer over here.
Oh, you fucking
Webkins.
support Scientology.
Oh.
This is the most evil shit ever.
I'm
Never.
not
The
evil.
opera.
I'm definitely not evil.
Ba 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 ba.
Well, there's that organ that was
Are
playing.
you
It
fucking...
echoes
What
throughout
were
the
they
city.
doing with this case? They clearly knew that they were making Damon Gant to be the fucking most evil person in the universe. God.
Fantastic.
Whoa, where am I?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Oh, I don't know if I talked about it already, but in the last case that Jello and Friends played for Investigations 2, they have a very similar thing where it's super obvious who the bad guy is, but he's using his like position to get away with it, and you could tell immediately because A, he has a really cool design, and B, his generic animation for him starting a conversation is that he pulls out a like wad of papers which look like evidence, you know what I mean, like actual documentation, and then just lights it on fire. and it's like that's not suspicious. Anyway,
He's the type of character that I feel like would be very funny if you could just submit evidence, but he would just destroy and softlock you.
that's what I mean. Like, I expected that to happen, like, several times. I expected them to reference, like, this document that proves blah, 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 and then he would just hold it out and burn it, and then they'd be like, you can't do that, and he's like, can't do what? I didn't do anything. Prove it.
Anyway. I think this line was read already?
Yeah, I said it already.
Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten.
That's called biology.
Oh, so funny.
They used to call me Little Miss Bach.
Were you a chicken?
Oh my god.
I thought I was a G. Oh. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. I could never remember where C was.
Isn't that like literally in the middle?
It's called Middle
Oh
C.
god!
Yeah.
Oh, it's you two. I've been standing here the entire time invisibly, but I decided I should stop doing that because you're here.
Jeez,
He
goddammit,
gets
Chief
summoned
Gant.
with the organ.
Oh my god.
He put the paper he was reading in his desk.
So, righto, have you been swimming lately? Any pools ripe for like...
Wait. What the fuck? Is that just his go-to for, like, how you been? Because he asked the same thing to the chief. You remember
Yeah,
that?
what is it with this
He
guy?
just
and
really
stuff?
likes the
Yes,
pool.
it's everyone.
I think,
love
I think,
pools.
like, is he actually, like, once again, it's our lord, not the games, but I like the idea of him just, like, passive-aggressively encouraging people to enjoy more water sports, so that way he has a really easy location to just murder them, so he can just electrify the water.
Oh my god.
Oh.
No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full, too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct.
Dude, I'm so excited to see this guy's breakdown animation.
And Lana's provocative statement.
Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence?
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. Why are you looking over there? See that big picture on the wall since you're looking over there?
Look at that knife!
That's a picture of Lana,
Look at the
Neil,
face
me.
in the background!
That's a picture of Lana, Neil, me, and Sir Armstrong.
And Sir Armstrong. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
We took it to commemorate our work together. Sir Armstrong was very good at his nightly duties.
Wait, what the fuck? Wait. What the? Why are there 3 different fucking discrepancies in this picture?
Don't worry about it.
God, there's so much in this one picture. Holy shit. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it though. There's 3 things!
Here, you can have a miniature picture that I also took for lawyers.
For lawyers who come to question me. Oh, right, I forgot. Oh, look, his buttons!
Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. You can leave through the windows, and I will leave through the door.
You can leave through the
Throws
window.
you out.
No. He goes over to the door and just and just like locks it, and you're like, and he's like, oh, you can leave through the window. Don't worry, we're on the 10th floor. I'll leave through the electrical circuit.
Oh my god.
Oh,
He fucking Mario Odysseys out.
but this
Oh, yeah.
office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case has long since been over. There is no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we'd still like to take a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
I've got pools to get to.
I have
I've got
pool-
pools
I-
to-
I have pools to get to.
I have
Looks like
full
we aren't
force to visit.
welcome.
It seems that case isn't over yet after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Alright, well, real quick, before we do that, I want to look at this fucking thing.
There's no reason. I told you.
I
I'm
can't
not
investigate this at all? I can't point out the 3 things? Because first off, why the fuck is the knight's sword glowing? That usually means that it's important.
That's Sir Armstrong's legendary sword.
Excalibur.
Oh, dude.
How the fuck can we get in there?
Maybe the chief will let you in. Or Gumshoe.
Okay.
Hey, pal. I heard you wanted to get into the chief's office.
Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting?
I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt.
Why would they hurt?
From sitting so long?
Actually, from serving everyone coffee.
Oh,
man.
poor guy.
Gumshoe, I'm so sorry, dude. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop.
Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth?
Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask?
He's under fire for both the police department and the prosecutor's office.
It's like that
Luckily-
scene. It's like that scene from Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's just
Where
the
they're all
ship.
on either side.
Yeah, just.
No. No, Gumshoe's like, luckily they're not using holy bullets, so he'll be fine.
Oh god.
You should. It's almost like the battles between you two in court.
That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. That Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his
It's
blood.
not his fault, though.
And he's after everyone else's blood.
Yeah, but I was about to say the same thing.
Yikes.
Hey.
You know how I should link the Steel Samurai cadenza earlier, by the way?
Yeah.
I was looking at the cadenzas from the same like recording. They made Gumshoe sound like a fucking funeral.
Oh.
Gumshoe's
God.
theme sounds so like somber and like deathly in that cadenza. I'm like, why?
No, no.
Poor guy.
But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Sky is the guilty party here, isn't she?
Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor keeps him safe from those who don't like him. But now, with this,
Are there really so many people who hate him?
When's the last time Saba's read anything?
it's been
I
a long
know,
time.
it's been great.
Saba's like, yeah! Remember when
In our
Saba was
world.
complaining? like,
Yeah,
oh, it's the
dude,
Saba show.
I can't even remember when that happened, man. It feels like so long ago.
In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies.
Unless you mean the genetic slurry in which Von Karma made me.
You, hey, Dick, keep up the good work, Dick. You fucking little dick, stupid dick.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
sir.
Okay.
Hey, this is a kid's show. Say penis.
Let's go out for lunch again sometime, little dick. My treat. You want to eat some fucking shit on the floor?
Oh my god.
Yes, sir.
You gotta take me back to that joint, okay? Sometime, Dick, you're gonna pay for all of us, and we're not gonna fucking let you get any food, you little dick.
Stop
Yes,
being so
sir.
mean to him. It makes me feel bad. It seems like we don't have any problems with enemies.
You sure about that, man?
Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack.
I'm glad the game tried to hard no my idea that everyone at this fucking agency hates him.
I don't like the idea of everybody hating Gumshoe.
I do like the idea of there's only one Kermit that fucking despises him, but all the
It's
others
just an asshole.
there's just one
Actually-
specific Kermit.
I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing.
What's the natural lifespan of a Kermit?
No one's. They haven't
2
ever
hours.
lived long enough to find out.
They haven't lasted long enough to die of natural causes. That's amazing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything?
The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack.
His final attack, you mean...
That's right, his super move when he killed Prosecutor Marshall with Lone Star murder. Or
Grant,
whatever.
Grant, what was his final move called?
What was the name? I don't remember.
Dark Edge.
Dark
He was
Edge.
trying to protect some girl.
It's spelled with an E at the end, like his last name.
Yes.
Dark Edge.
Edge is usually
Me?
spelled with an E at the end.
With a 3.
Alright.
It's Leap.
He's just Salmonella's older brother.
It's fucking, how would you even spell that? It'd be fucking
RK3 3
DG.
No 4. Oh shit.
HIJK
It'd be that.
LMNOP.
Dark Edge!
Dark Edge.
God, that's amazing. Alright, back to the game. It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl.
That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see. I think that's something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Well, it's all written somewhere in here, okay?
His powers of recollection never failed to impress.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. Threaten him with a knife. It might jog his memory.
You just
right.
hold the knife out, wanting to show it to him, but he instantly thinks you're threatening him.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Don't make me use my gumshoe. Stop.
My gumshoe gunshoe.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Is
oh,
he
you
that-
end up
Bayonetta?
like gum on my shoe.
He's fucking Bayonetta.
Fucking... I love the idea of everybody just having like a Mega Man style naming convention for their super moves that are in the world. It's fucking like Hunter x Hunter with the Nen system, but it's just like Gumshoe's Gunshoe is amazing. Yes, Sava?
It's pronounced Hunter Hunter, you knew, but
Sorry, Sal. Sorry, Salmonella.
Saba Manila. And also, Saba,
that just sounds
are
like Saba
you a
Vanilla.
Hunter x Hunter fan?
C.
No, she's a Hunter x Hunter fan.
Yes, Hunter Hunter. You are correct, Grant. I don't know what Zach's talking about.
Alright, so I'm here to state officially on stream that this will be Saba's last show,
Sure.
thankfully.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah? If you're a real fan, then what did the innkeeper say at the end?
Right?
Oh,
What did
God.
the innkeeper say at the end of episode 4? About this.
Hey, is that?
It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the murder weapon you were speaking of.
What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
The day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. And was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it. Now I remember what the incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what was it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again.
Alright, new talking point. Great.
I forgot.
No.
Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman.
A businessman? What made him take the serial killing?
His name was Joe Dark. What's Kira's entire first monologue? That I can't
Oh,
remember.
fucking... I don't know, dude.
I'm
That's
your
fucking...
average man or whatever. One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
I would look it up, but I'm not gonna.
With his car, so it was an accident?
An accident, yeah. But it transformed him into an animal.
An animal?
He killed the man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed the lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then he was burying the bodies. A jogger came behind the scene and he was killed as well. Finally,
Oh
he
my
turned
gosh.
himself in.
I love killing. Killing
turned
is
into
best.
Animal. He was an animorph.
He seems like it seems he was a pretty careless animal.
Of course, this is all conjecture.
Oh.
There wasn't a single shred of evidence.
So he turned himself in.
Yes, but in the middle of questioning, he fled and murdered the final victim.
I need one more before I die.
Prostitute
Dark
Marshall.
Dark Edge!
That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on this.
Lone
It's
Star
okay.
murdering.
It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed.
That last witness, aka Emma. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus he had fingerprints on it too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look at the knife to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway,
Big baby.
baby, take a guess where the
Yes?
broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
Inside Neil Marshall. Oh, I was okay. I was carrying it inside his own body. I was just making a joke. It was found deep inside the sabu.
Did it match Dark's knife?
You bet, down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive.
God, there's so much evidence. It died from a punctured
Treatment.
heart and lung.
Ouch.
Stabbed
Yeah,
in the
he did.
Stabbed in the back.
Lung must be pretty bad. Don't you like can't I don't know, start like suffocating or whatever?
So
Yeah, I think
so
so.
with
Well-
the punctured lung, your diaphragm can't properly expand or contract that lung anymore, because your lung is actually literally just a sealed sack of air, or like a sack of flesh that your diaphragm is able to like
Ziploc.
open and close. So like technically, if he was able to like if you get stabbed in the lung and then you hold the wound open, you can still breathe technically, but it's not gonna be good.
Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. I hear he'll give you $50.
It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered.
The chief's out now and his office is locked, but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card could unlock the door.
Yes.
Don't we have like two?
Do we?
We could just use Goodman's, right?
That's true. We could just use good ones. Which I'm super surprised that they haven't taken that away from us yet.
What? Really?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned.
Oh.
Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. Instead, it was deleted the day he died.
Fuck.
Ah,
That's
darn
very
it.
quick. Oh.
So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that could make him change his mind.
Dang, we have no remorse for like doing something that would literally ruin his career just so we could get our evidence.
Poor Gumshoe.
What could we show him to get him to change his mind?
You're
I
bad.
was gonna
The
make
vase,
Steve Universe reference.
maybe?
My badge. I'm about to say, I kind of want to show him the vase.
Maybe.
Well, that jar. I think I've seen it before somewhere.
Somewhere.
Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives.
This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met.
Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me.
Chief Gant?
Where could I have seen that before?
I guess show him the picture now?
How many living detectives have Wright actually met
Oh
before?
gosh.
What was that?
How many living detectives has Wright actually met before?
That's a good point.
Well, they're all
Because technically we've met fucking what, 5 detectives in this case, but none of them are detectives anymore.
They're all pants. If you know, okay, right.
Yeah. All right, so he didn't want that picture. I don't know, dude. What can we show him?
Your badge.
I'm not giving.
Maybe it'll work this
Screwdriver. Have we used this?
No. I forgot we could investigate it. It says AI 16.
What's that got to do with anything?
Nothing, apparently. At least that's what Edgeworth said.
It makes it seem all the more suspicious. Who knows? This might turn out to be the clue that breaks the case.
Wouldn't that be
Foreshadowing.
nice?
Wouldn't it be nice?
Or maybe you can show him the badge.
What, my, or this? Or my
I don't know.
badge?
Yeah, your badge. Maybe it'll make him think you have to like investigate in there for like your job or something.
Detective, here's my attorney's badge.
I could be wrong.
You show this to me every time we meet. Real men show their police badge. Enough said.
I wish I had a badge. Even an ID card will be nice.
Aren't you wearing one, Emma?
That's her
Hey,
like
that's
ID
it.
card.
That's the King of Prosecutors award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day.
Were you at the award ceremony, Detective Gumshoe?
Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence myself.
Ah, congratulations.
Just
Oh, we've
wondering,
already
why
read
is the...
this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, because we had this conversation before. Oh, there's a reason. But I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Blue Badger.
I'm not showing the Blue Badger.
Oh, wait, what about the autopsy report? Wait, we just got that.
Yeah, we got that from him.
Maybe we have to go somewhere else. To get something to present to him.
Maybe something with Edgeworth?
Shit, I just realized I've been muted. I wanted to get in there before... Whatever, it's fine.
I mean, we also have 2 minutes till 12.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to get in there so we could be all set for next time.
Is there...
Well, I recommend maybe Edgeworth, because
Yeah.
Gumshoe will do anything for Edgeworth.
Oh, that's
That's
a good
true.
point.
Yeah. Da, 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 da.
I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet.
There he is. It looks like he's writing something.
Fuck you, right? Fuck
What?
you, right?
What are you doing here?
I was not writing fan fiction.
He was sure quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh?
I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Oh, this poor guy. Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
What are you, a tree?
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, that's Edward for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings, like a true tsundere.
So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day.
Well, I'm gonna examine that piece of paper. I wonder what he was writing before.
Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look.
What are you guys doing under my desk?
Are you
Get away from
crazy?
me.
Edgeworth is sitting right there!
Just distract him. I'll check it out.
You said it right in
Hey,
front of-
Edgeworth. I love you. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground!
Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet.
He didn't even look.
What? Letter of...
If you're having trouble reading it, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation.
Edgeworth, you can't quit. I'm gonna quit.
We'll return
Resignation.
together.
Edgeworth, you don't mean...
I'm tired, right?
You're like 24.
I
And
feel
he's
as if something inside me has died.
That's probably
That's
your
He's
soul.
20. He's 24, and he's probably prosecuted like 10 times the cases Wright has.
That's true.
But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault.
So?
I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either.
Uh-oh. I think he's serious.
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
I don't have to do fucking anything. This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use.
You're going to blackmail me. Good to know.
Oh,
Okay,
black- I'm gonna-
1201.
Bitch, I am working on it! Sorry, I didn't
Don't
mean to
go
call you
anywhere.
bitch.
It's
All right.
typical. That's the normal stuff I get from Muzak, okay?
It's not fair, man. I was literally clicking on the button when you told me to. Now I feel bad! Anyway, good night, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, though.
Good night.
So,